Hi everyone, what are your processes you do before you fly your drone? Well, stay tuned. I'm going to give you my processes, what I do before I fly my drone, and I'm going to give you a couple tips of what I do when I haven't flown my drone for several months. My name is Brad and I want to help you improve your drone videos by giving you a tip every single week. If that sounds like something interesting to you, go ahead and click that subscribe button. Let's get to it! Whether you're flying for commercial purposes or you're just out having fun, being a responsible drone pilot is very important. You wouldn't want to have your drone accidentally fall out of the sky and hurt somebody, and heaven forbid, break your drone and cost you a lot of money. Everyone has different processes before they fire up their drone and get it up in the air. Here are some of my processes. Now keep in mind it's going to take me a lot longer to explain it to you than it is to actually do it. My processes usually take a lot less time, maybe just 4 to 5 minutes at the most, and then I'm up in the air. Number 1. I check the weather before I even leave the apartment to make sure there's no rain or snow or bad winds or any kind of bad weather coming in, and making sure I can actually fly. And number 2, I check all the batteries. Usually I have everything charged the night before, but I double check to make sure my drone batteries are charged, my remote battery is charged, and my tablet battery is charged. Number 3, I make sure I can actually fly there. I use AirMap to make sure I'm not in any kind of restricted airspace. I will call the local police and find out if I can fly in that area. If I can't, then I don't. And I also go again and I check UAV forecasts just to double check my weather conditions to see if anything's changing. Number 4, I look around and make sure there's no obstacles or a lot of people. If there's a lot of people around, I don't even unpack the drone, because why bother? You're not allowed to fly over people, so it's not worth it. Pack up the drone, go. I think I'm okay. Number 5, we finally get to get the drone out. I pull the drone out, I look at it, make sure there's no cracks, no damage, and of course if there's any kind of damage, I really think twice about flying. If it's very, very minor or if it's something that I can fix really quick, I go ahead and I fix it and I fly. If it's really bad damage, there's no flying, and then I cry. Number 6, I check to see if the micro SD card is in there. Usually I leave one in there, but I always check to make sure there's one in there. Number 7, I pull off the motor caps and the lens cap and inspect the motors and the lenses at that time. And number 8, I clean the lens. Number 9, I'll put on a filter if I need one, and then I'll clean the filter also. Nothing is more frustrating than getting home and finding a big smudge on your footage, and finding it all that time and all that footage is completely useless. Number 10, I put the props on and I check them for damage as I put them on. I double check to make sure they're secure. Number 11, I set up the remote. I pull out the antennas, I mount and connect the tablet, I turn the tablet on, then I turn the remote on, then I select the app that I'm going to use. Number 12, I insert the battery in the drone. Hey, finally we're getting somewhere. Number 13, I set the drone down where I'm going to launch. Yes! Number 14, I turn on the drone! We're almost there! Number 15, wait for that beautiful green GPS signal. 16, I do something a little different. I start the motors by not using the auto launch. Why do I do that? Well, it's another way to make sure that the props are on securely, because if not, this can happen. Number 17, I launch and I fly. And now for a little bonus information. If it's been a few months since I've flown, like maybe it's because of winter or just bad weather or whatever the reason, I like to make sure that the drone is still in decent shape. I'm already up in the air, and now I do a little bit more of a check to make sure the controls are behaving properly. I move the right stick forward a little bit, left a little bit, back a little bit, or right a little bit, making sure the drone reacts properly. And then I take the left stick and I yaw left, and then I yaw right. And then I go up a little, and then I go down a little bit. And if anything seems weird, I land and I shut down and I basically reboot the whole thing and try it over. And if it keeps not working right, then I have to call DJI and get this fixed. I like to do that little extra check when it's been sitting for a while, simply because it helps me feel better if I fly too far away. I would really hate to find out that the controls aren't working really well when I'm about 1,000 feet away. That would be bad. And of course, it took me a long time to explain this, and when you finally get to doing this, it takes very little time to put it together. I mean, I can do this usually, if I have some help, I can usually have my drone up in 3 to 5 minutes, depending on how long it takes to get a GPS log. My main concern is safety. I want to make sure that my drone isn't going to be falling out of the sky and hurting anybody or damaging anything, including the drone itself. And of course, you have your own processes, and I would really like to hear them. Go ahead and leave comments below letting me know what you do different or what you do extra or what you do less or whatever, and I would really like to hear about it. And of course, I may have missed something, and you can leave comments on that too. And if you like the video, go ahead and click that like button and share it with people who you think might need a little help with their processes. And of course, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget, fly safe, and bye!